Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to all my fellows, friends and students. I hope that you all are fine. In the previous lecture, we talk about how to detect the problem of heteroscedasticity in our data. As I told me in that lecture, that we will discuss in our upcoming lecture that how we can remove uh, the problem of hetero from our data and what are its reasons and what are the consequences of heteroscedasticity test. So in our today lecture we are going uh, to check that how can we remove the problem of heteroscedasticity from our data. So first of all, let's make a model which have the problem of heteroscedasticity in our data, and we will try to remove the problem of heteroscedasticity from our data. Okay, so now first of all I am going to bring my data into the views file. So I go to file, new, and here on click on work file. Here I will start mention my start and end date of the data, as we mention it many times that how we uh, bring our data into the Excel form. Click on OK. I go to the Excel file, copy my all data, then I again open the views file, go to the quick, click on empty group and paste all of your data here. Okay, now first apply simple OLS on this data. Select your dependent variable first, then select your independent variable one by one, then right click, open as equation, bring this C constant varied next to the dependent variable, apply OLS. We have no concern about these OLS results, as we are going to check the problem of hetero. So go to the view, residual diagnostic text, and click on heteroscedasticity test. You can select any of these tests, as our concern is to how to remove the problem of hetero. So I am going with this first test, which is Brosh-Pagan test. Click on OK. Here you can see the probability value of observed scare. Okay, what is the null hypothesis? H naught, there is no hetero. And what is alternative hypothesis, which is H1? It means that, sorry, there is hetero. So if the p value is less than 0.05, okay, if the p value is less than 0.05, then we reject H naught. Okay, and we have to accept H1, as our probability value of observed R square is less than 0.05, which means that we have to reject the null hypothesis, meaning that we have to accept H1, which indicate that there is a problem of hetero in our data. I will write it again here. If p value of observed R square is less than 0.05, then we have to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, as our results show that our probability value of observed scare is less than 0.05, so we have to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, and we have to accept alternative hypothesis, which means that there exists the problem of hetero. Okay, so now how we can remove this problem of hetero? There are certain methods. First method is to take log of all your variables. In this way you can remove the problem of hetero from your data. Okay, so now we go back to our original model, which is this one. I will click right, open as equation, then I write with my each of variable log GDP. Okay, C for constant, log GCF, which is my another variable. Then I write log with my next variable, which is ED. Similarly, I write log with my all the variables, both with the dependent and independent variable. I am going to write log. Okay, so let's check it again. Log, 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 log. So now run the OLS model again. Okay, these are the result with log. As you can see, the dependent variable log GDP, log, log, log. So my all variables are now in log form. So now let's check that is there still exists the problem of hetero in our data. We go to view, residual diagnostic test, and then we go to the heteroscedasticity test. Apply Brash-Pagan test, click on OK. So here you can see that the probability value is 0.052, which means that it is 5.2. Okay, as our observed R square is 0.052, which is greater than 0.05. It is 0.052, as it is 5.2, which is greater than 5% or 0.05, which means that we have to accept the null hypothesis, which means that now there is no problem of hetero in our data. Okay, as you can see, if the probability value is less than 0.05, we have to reject the null hypothesis, but if the probability value is greater than 0.05, we have to accept the null hypothesis. As in this case, our result shows that probability value of observed R square is greater than 0.05. So we will accept H naught, which means that now there is no problem of heteroscedasticity in our data. So this is the first method, that how you can remove the problem of heteroscedasticity test from your data. I hope that you understand, and now you can remove the problem of hetero from your data. The second method is a very general method. I am going to discuss this very generally. You can do it on your Excel file. Okay, uh, heteroscedasticity exists in the data because of outlier. Okay, what is outlier? Outlier means that if you have data like this, 10, 12, 20, 14, 15, 16, and you can see that your data is going very smoothly, but suddenly there exists a number which is 500, then you will get data again 14, 20, 12, 14, 12. So in this data, because of this 500, your all mean going to change. Okay, if your data is going very smoothly and certainly there exists a number which is very much larger or very much smaller than the other numerical values which are exist in your data, then this number is called outlier in your data. So if you can you can take the mean of your values with this 500, and if you can, and if you take the mean of your numerical value without this number 500, then you can see there exists a huge difference between mean of these numerical values with 500 and without 500. So if you have data which have outliers in it, so in Excel file you have to remove the outliers from the data. So how can you remove the outliers from the data? You can take growth of the data, or you can take the average of the data. In this way, this outlier will be removed from your data. This problem of outlier also will be solved by log form. As you know that log skews the data into very small number. So you have to look in your data. If it contains the outlier in your data, it will be creating the problem of heteroscedasticity. Okay. So here we discuss the two methods for removing heteroscedasticity from our data. The first one is you have to take the log of your all variables. In this way you can remove the problem of heteroscedasticity data. And the second one is remove this outlier from your data by taking log or by taking averages from averages. Okay, in this way you can remove the problem of heteroscedasticity from your. And this is the another method for removing heteroscedasticity from our data, which is called generalized least square method or weighted least square method. So how this method will execute or run? For example, if you have model like this is the dependent variable, and bit x2, x3 and xk are the independent variables. Mu t is the array term, beta 1 is the intercept. Okay, if the standard deviation of array term is unknown, then divide all variable with standard deviation of array term. Okay, divide all of these variable with the standard deviation of array term. Like this standard deviation sigma I have divided all these variable with sigma I. Okay, and now we write this y over sigma I into y steric, beta 1 over sigma I beta 1 1, beta 2 x2 over sigma I is equals to, we can write this as beta 2 x2 steric, and we write this as beta 3 x3 steric. Remember that we only have to divide the variable with the standard deviation. Uh, it is appropriate or that we write beta 3 here and we divide only x3 with sigma I. Similarly, this will become x steric k plus and the array term mu t over sigma I become mu steric t. Okay, as I told earlier that sigma is unknown, but it varies because of I. As you can see that here I with all these sigma. What is mean by I? It means that the value of sigma I is changing. Okay, as the heteroscedasticity. What is mean by heteroscedasticity? Heteroscedasticity means the variance is not constant in the data. So when the variance is not constant, definitely the standard deviation is also not constant. And we don't know about the value of sigma I, so we assume. Okay, we don't know that what is the value of sigma I, the standard deviation of array term. So what we have to do in this case, we can take or we assume that sigma I is equal to any independent variable. Okay, as we have many independent variables in this case. Okay, so what we are going to do, we will divide all our variables, all these with our any independent variable. Okay, let's suppose I am going to divide all this model with x2. Okay, y steric this model, we divide this model with any independent variable. Okay, I am going to divide x2 with all these variable. So when I will divide uh, any independent variable, which we assume that it is equals to the standard deviation of array term, the intercept and the slope of the original model will change. In the original model, beta 1 is the intercept. Okay, so now when we divide beta 1 with x2I, it is no more slope. It is no more intercept. Okay, and this will become now intercept, where x2I will cancel with x2I like here. So this will become intercept, and this will become slope. All these will become slope. And similarly, we have divide all these variable with the x to y. So when you divide with this variable to the whole model, this will remove the problem of heteroscedasticity from your data. Now you can run the OLS on this model. Okay, in Excel file it is very easy. In Excel file, like you have data. This is our dependent variable. These all three are these four are our independent variables. So what we have to do? We have to do by dividing all these variable, independent and dependent, both with any of these dependent variable. Independent variable. Let's suppose I say that we will divide all these variable with LF. Okay, so this will change the whole thing. So this is the another method, that how can we remove the heteroscedasticity from our data. Okay, so now let's talk about what are the reasons for heterodata, heteroscedasticity problem. Okay, the first reason for existing of heteroscedasticity in data is the increasing or decreasing trend between independent variable, IV for independent variable and D for dependent variable. For example, if your all independent variable are showing increasing trend and your dependent variable are also showing increasing trend, so this will create the problem of heteroscedasticity data in heteroscedasticity in your data. Okay, so what is the first reason? The first reason is that if your all independent variable and dependent variables are moving in the same direction, they all are increasing or they all are decreasing, so this will create the problem of hetero in your data. What is the second reason for heterodata? It is the theoretical mistakes in the data. You have entered the wrong data, or you may have chosen the wrong independent variable for your model. And what is the third reason for the hetero? It is the reason for data collection method. Uh, so when your HOD or your class teacher give you questionnaire to write the feedback for your teacher, will they how well they teach you. Mostly student try to copy from another student that what are they are writing about the teacher. So this thing will pass from one student to another student and then another student. So in this way it will create similar result, or it may vary from one student to another student. This will create the problem of heteroscedasticity data. So these are three basic reasons for the occurring of heteroscedasticity. So what are the consequences? What are the effect of heteroscedasticity test? The first consequence is, due to hetero, estimator will remain linear and unbiased because error term is not related to their calculation. What are our estimator? Beta 1, beta 2 and beta 3, which are the coefficients of the independent variable. Heteroscedasticity have nothing to do with that. Okay, so what does heteroscedasticity do? Error term calculation used in t-stat. Okay, error term calculation used in t-stat. So due to hetero, t value become insignificant. Okay, so what does it mean? As we know that if t value is greater than 2, it means that our variable is significant. So what it will do, it will make the t value very smaller. So because of t value smaller, it indicate that the t value is no more significant. So when t value is not significant, hypotheses are not reliable. So as a result, our whole results are not reliable. I hope you understand all the concept, that how we remove the problem of hetero from our data, what are the reasons for hetero data, and what are the consequences of heterodata. So this is the end of topic of hetero. As we uh, covered all the topics in first lecture, we discussed that how to detect the problem of hetero from our data. In today's lecture, we discussed that how we can remove hetero from our data, what are the reasons for hetero data, and what are the consequences of data. If you have any question, you are very welcome to ask. And if any error in the lecture, you are also very welcome to rectify the error. Please give me your feedback and also share all these information with your data, your all other class fellows. I hope that this lecture is informative for you. I am asking again and again in my all lectures and also in my group that please give me your feedback. Okay, good luck